Welcome in flashers, flash traders, FAF stakers, and LP providers. We're back for another flash hour this week where we go over all things flash trade. As per usual, we will go over a little bit at the beginning just to let everybody flood in, called State of the Trenches, and we got a good one for you this week. If you have ever put in a limit order and it just barely doesn't get hit, go ahead and leave a like for me and retweet this to get this out to as many people as possible. And with that, we're going to bring in our esteemed co-founder here, Anas.
Good morning.
Anas, good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Had a great weekend, and now, looking forward to what all we have done. And I think an interesting news showed up. So, without further ado, let's
get into it. Yeah, absolutely. The State of the Trenches, I mean, it's an interesting one. So Forward Industries, a DAT, real quick for me, just for us plebs, can you explain what a DAT is?
Yeah, it's basically an on-chain treasury where people, basically fund managers, are creating a treasury off-chain and then letting people to invest it through the traditional markets and then have a stock ticker on the traditional exchanges where institutional investors and the people who invest in securities are able to directly invest into crypto assets. So it's sort of like a fund management company going live on the stock market so that people can invest and that the fund manager can take that money and then invest back into get into buying more crypto assets. But the most interesting thing with Solana DATs versus Bitcoin DAT is Solana has this proof of stake concept where when you stake Solana, you get some inflationary rewards, and on top of that, MEV rewards. So Solana DATs are very interesting model in the DAT structure because these DATs can generate yield over their investments, while Bitcoin DATs are just like they hold Bitcoin and that's it. They can't do much with it. So in essence, DAT is like a blessing for Solana.
Oh gosh, I mean, honestly, with some of these companies, Solana is a blessing to them. But yeah, with the 1.65 billion PIPE financing completed, it's the largest corporate Solana treasury move to date. Yes. This is huge. Galaxy Digital, Jump Crypto, you probably recognize all of these. Multicoin Capital with a 300 million equity commitment. That's pretty serious. And then the Multicoin representative guy, I can't remember what but he'll be heading it, I believe.
Yes, Kyle Samani would be heading it.
Yeah. So that's a pretty big deal. I mean, this is not chump change.
It's
this
1.6. It's $1.6 billion in cash. That was like the standing thing that like stood out, because if you compare with what Saylor has been doing, he has been taking loans against his stake in Strategy, which is the company that he owns, and he was taking loans to buy Bitcoin. And it's a different model. And here these guys are just taking, forming a collective and just raising huge amounts of cash. And then given the, the yield on Solana basically ranges between 6 to 9%. So it's a very, very nice source of money for people who are in the institutional side of the world, or the people who trade securities, to, put in their money in these DATs and then earn that sweet yield while the tech works for them and the underlying asset rises in price.
Yeah, that is the driver of this capital. Yeah. If that wasn't there, they wouldn't care. It is that yield that's being generated. This month is the potential Fed cut. I mean, I wouldn't even call it potential. I'd pretty much call it like a done deal. 88% probability. I've actually seen on that's from Fed Watch. I've actually seen on other tools, which seem to be, in my opinion, more accurate, like poly markets and stuff like that, much higher, like a 98% approval rating.
It's like the whole industry is actually pushing Fed to put this rate cut, to be honest,
Yeah.
because the inflation itself hasn't gone down as much as they wanted, but still
Mm.
they are being forced to do this cut because I think
Yep.
midterms are in, and they want to show some results in the stock market.
Yeah, and one of the other criticisms that they are being levied, and it is a valid criticism, is that there are other tools out there that the Fed do not use that we know for a fact is more accurate than the tools that they use. Like Trueflation is just bringing one to light. It's far
Yeah.
more accurate, and it takes in so many more data sets than what the Fed takes in, because you can actually that they disclose exactly how they formulate it. So it's just, honestly, it's antiquated system. It's ridiculous how they project it. So yeah, I mean, it's long past due. If you ask anybody, any real economist will tell you it's long past due. They should have cut rates not far ago, or a long time ago, but relatively now's a little late to the party, but that's okay. At least they're doing it. Stablecoin yield sharing regulatory movement. So here's the thing, and I know you really wanted to cover this. There is a movement amongst the people, that's us, who really want this to happen. So the movement is to force stablecoin issuers to share the yield that they're going to be getting from bonds, treasuries, and things of that nature. The key restriction, though, is that the stablecoin issuers are prohibited from offering any yield or interest to token holders. Now, this is mainly coming from I believe it was the stablecoin bill. So that is what is actually being kind of criticized here, and it's the also from MiCA or the EU. Other places, I'm sure, would love to take advantage of that.
See, basically, this thing rose from the hyperliquid voting that happened, and the team, since they own like 10% of the USDC supplied, the team started looking into ways of converting that USDC to a native offering, and the native offering, the companies that came in, they were offering a higher fee share. Basically, the thing is, all of these stable coins hold the dollars and T-bills, and on
Yes.
T-bills you get interest of about, on average it's between 2 to 4%,
Yeah.
maybe 3%. But the interesting thing is USDT, USDC, and most of the stable coins, they just keep that interest for themselves as running costs, and
Oh, yeah.
being custodians, they don't share that yield that they generate. And the most interesting thing is, just on the past year or so, both USDT and USDC have earned around $450 million in interest, and that is like something that we are losing, to be honest, net, because we are allowing them to earn that money. So if that was bought back into the network, it's a plus for everyone. Just as we at Flash, we do 50% revenue share. If these
Yep.
stablecoin companies were to do at least 50%, it would be a very good network effect between people who are using these stablecoins and the people who are issuing the stablecoin.
100%.
So yeah, so the
Yeah.
movement is there, and I'm pretty sure we would see a couple of companies in Q4 who would be offering such sort of stable coins on Solana, and then we all would be looking into them and seeing their custodial systems, and picking the winner who
Yeah.
would be used as the stable coin offering on Flash and other companies. Because if they sort of go in this route of getting back the yield to the network, it just makes sense for everyone, right? So yeah.
Yeah, the regulatory framework in Europe is awful, so I'm just going to skip that. No offense to all our European viewers. MiCA is a nightmare, but in America, the great part is that if they do partake in like USDT, USDC, or any other derivative, it's actually, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's under the banking. This is my research. It was under the banking regulatory oversight. So it can be changed. It is not law that they cannot offer yield. It is just regulation.
The idea is not to ask the stablecoin holders to offer the yield. It's about them just going ahead and buying the network token and using it to make the network more healthy. And none of the ask is not the direction of giving back the yield to the stablecoin holders. It's more about making that yield worthwhile for the network. Because if we go on the yield sharing thing, that would be impossible. But in the Trump administration, I don't think anything is impossible. Everything is possible as long as people are willing to buy dollars. Trump is gonna sell all of it to us.
It's crime season. Let's see. Pump.fun live streams. Momentum explodes, and it really does. I was just watching that. Some guy was making around, I think it was like $19, per stream, and now he's making like 2,000. I thought that was absolutely wild. And this is per day. That's yikes. That's a lot, actually. It adds up.
It adds up, and it's interesting meta that the Pump team is trying to pull off. It's not that they have like pulled it off, because even now, if you go to their website, you won't see like more than 1,000 users on any of the streams, and some streams blow and some streams don't. And I think there is some flaw in their economic model, and they have to fix it. It's not like you start a stream and then you start a token. They have to be some sort of angle, and I'm sure the team is working on it. But it's definitely refreshing to see some interesting plays happening on chain.
Yeah, you're right. It's interesting to see, for me at least. It's interesting to see that it's like it's live A/B testing. Like you're figuring out like this platform will do it this way, that platform will do it that way. Obviously, Pump Fund's the only one doing this now, but my point is that like there's this experiment that goes on in this industry that's it's so cool to watch and live. Like, and we're dealing with like hard money. I mean, this is not like back in the day where it's just a website.
The most interesting thing right now happening, everything on Solana is everything is hard money, and it's like real things are happening on chain, and I'm very happy about that.
Me too. Yeah, me too. I like the time.fun. That's another one. Something interesting with like live streaming kind of thing. You pay amount of money, and then whoever pays the most gets and then the creator gets to pick who they very cool stuff. A lot of things going on that are really, really neat. A lot of tests. 8.9 billion transactions processed in Q2 2025 with 4 billion daily DEX trading volume, which is pretty nuts. Network revenue dominance. Solana generated 1.25 billion in revenue in 2025 versus Ethereum's $500 million. That is wild. That means that that's internet capital markets at scale, baby. Market or Mike Novogratz.
I just want to add, like, I think the only thing that Solana is behind right now is on TVL, and that's like the final thing. And once we are done, there is nothing Ethereum has more in terms of any metric than Solana, except it was launched earlier.
That's I mean, obviously we'll never be able to beat that, but stable coins and TVL, because I think even we're behind on stable coins too, but it just doesn't like so I mean, it's pretty simple math. If you look at the growth compared to Ethereum, we're gonna outmatch them very shortly. We're growing so quickly, and they're stagnating and or losing or just barely growing TVL or stablecoin. So I really just doubt it. I think we'll eventually overtake them actually with relatively short order. But Mike Novogratz, Galaxy CEO, bullish, calls it Season of Soul, capable of 14 billion daily transactions. I don't know about that, but the let's see, buyback EU launched. Backpack. That's what I wanted to highlight. Sorry. First regulated perpetual futures exchange in Europe. So centralized. We're going decentralized. Solana stablecoin reached all-time high with 13.3 billion supply for first time. And then squads, just to call out squads because we do love the squad team here. Protocol Open Grid Developer Platform. API for stablecoin workflow handling millions in deposits. Congrats to our friends over at Squads and Backpack, by the way.
Yep.
We do love the Backpack guys. All right. So this is a little bit of my segment here. This one is insanity. By the way, that is like an insane chart, and it's real. The APY is also real.
Yes,
it's kind of insane.
Yeah, that's something that I really wanted to make clear, and we will be making more content in that direction.
For sure.
Yeah, the most interesting thing is it's like some couple of folks who love trading pump, and we were very early to list pump, and we are the only platform that offers up to 25x leverage on the pump token. So it's like couple of folks who have been trading too many times than they should be, but it's not affecting the platform in any negative sense, to be honest. It's just the money that it's in the pool is like something around $400,000. It's using that same liquidity, we are basically serving more than $10 million in volume, and that is what it's generating this higher APYs, because the traders are actually generating that much amount of fees. So the amount of dollars you have invested, it is generating insane yields. And what happens is, in general, when you deposit your money into any of the FLP pools, you buy a share token called FLP, which represents your share, and your dollar value is now backed by the basket of assets under FLP. And then what happens is, your capital, imagine you lock it at $10 today, and tomorrow some of the assets in the basket goes down like $9.8 or $9.5, but you are earning more yield than yesterday when you had $10 invested. That's when the APY jumps up, because you're earning more fees over less dollar invested. So that generates a higher annually compounded value. So when we saw that the APY was fluctuating very highly if you go over daily. So we made it 7 days rolling. But even at 7 days rolling, now we are seeing it's still going very high. So it is like people are earning money. It's not that people are not making money. That is what I was highlighting with the charts as well. Because if you see the price of FLP4, it has actually performed more than 50% better than Bonk, Pump, and Pengu in price action. So if you were holding Bonk like 100% spot versus FLP 400% spot, you were actually losing more money by holding Bonk. And that goes same for holding Pump and Pengu as well. So FLP4, because of the fee share mechanics, it has actually beaten all the index tokens by a big margin. So Max, you're checking SFLP. If you go to FLP, you would see that difference. Okay, you're an FLP, right? So basically, the price is going much better than holding the underlying assets, and that was what the premise was with the flash liquidity pools. Basically, we as market makers, we really wanted to beat the underlying assets.
I think what some people also miss is that they might only be looking at the underlying token value. That might be obviously, and particularly in this pool, obviously you have well outperformed. But there's gonna have to be some explaining for sure. But the good thing is that if you were in this pool a little
Max,
bit earlier,
can you
like I
just put
was,
it on all time, the chart?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was about to say, this is actually right where I put in some good capital, not knowing. By the way, I had no idea this would happen. But yeah, it's been performing. This is actually where I got out, which I shouldn't have. Dang it. But anyways, the right here is a little plateau, and then obviously we shot up again. But this is something that a lot of people like don't understand too, is like this is like capital efficiency at its best.
Yes.
This is insane that $400,000 can serve this kind of value.
Yes.
Accrual.
That's the power of Oracle based exchanges, and that's what I was preaching, right? Like when you talk about limit order books, we know the end game is just solving latency and liquidity. But on the other hand, if you're talking about Oracle based exchanges on chain, you don't know the end game. Things can go really really wild with these things, and we have seen that. We have already seen this with these pools, and we are also seeing with the proprietary AMMs, which are actually Oracle-based exchanges such as Humidify, Solfi, Lifinity. These
Lifinity, yeah.
things are able to offer insane amounts, like able to back insane amounts of volume just because they're able to quote the Oracle price at the fastest possible time.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's only possible on Solana.
Yeah, for sure, powered by Pip. I just wanted to call out Lifinity, or not, I apologize. Well, Lifinity is the creator of it, but Sandglass and RateX, if you would have bet on yield for this, holy moly, you would have been killing it. I don't think you can do it on Sandglass yet, but yeah, it would have been.
I think FLP4 is not added. FLP1 is added on both of the exchanges. So
yeah, that's what I mean. I said would have been really cool if they would have had that on there.
Yeah.
No, that would have been, you would have been crushing it. But yes, we added another 400 million to the trading total volume from last week. We added a lot of total rev distributed from last week. Honestly, I can't remember what it was. You'd have to go back and look. That's my apologies. And FLP1 is still crushing it. It was 143. So it was $1.43, and we're at 151. So FLP1 is just steady Eddie, and it just kicks butt. Especially indexed against well, it is an index, but my point is against the underlying assets, it's still crushing it. So yeah, that is all going well for Flash Trade. Now, what did we get done this week?
Yep, I think the most important thing was with the fastness of the UI, there was a sort of flickering issue that came up with the positions coming up and going down. So we had to figure out what the heck is going, because the thing is, when you make things more faster, you start breaking a lot of things that haven't
100%.
been looked into a while. So we've tried to improve, and I think now you can see the positions showing up a lot faster than before, and both on mobile and desktop. So we have been trying to like it's not like we have completely fixed it, it's like in the process, and we have done a lot of work in that direction. So
yeah, we're still doing it for sure.
We're still doing it. And the next thing is we have upgraded our swap page APIs from both Bird Eye and Jupiter. So now you can trade a lot more assets as they go live on the verified lists of both Bird Eye and Jupiter. So you would find a lot more interesting tokens that are coming up. Like I think there was something called Bagworks, which was a streamly related token that was pumping up on the weekend. And now you can find all those interesting shit coins or meme coins or stream coins on Flash, and have that best experience of pro trading on platform. And then next,
I just wanted to say real quick, just so our users know, and I want to remind you every single week that our swap page is available, and we actually have a simple and a pro mode. The pro mode's really cool. That's what I typically use, but if I do just need to swap something out that I'm well aware of and I don't need to look at charts and research anything, then the easy swap is definitely available for you. That's in the bottom left-hand corner on desktop. So if you do want to look at pro mode, don't forget to toggle that on.
For sure. And moving ahead, we've been doing some interesting, basically testing in prod for V2, because as you know, before Zoeb had suggested, it's literally swapping in the engine while we are going through laps in our Formula One car. So uh, in order to test things, and we have basically reduced fees, the margin fees on the Solana perp to like by 99%. It's like basically free to borrow Solana on Flash as of now.
Yeah.
And we are just observing very interesting things, because we are designing a very, very interesting funding mechanism, which is called implied funding rate. So it would be basically mimic, or imply the logic of funding between peer to peer on Flash when people long short. So that is under works. And moving ahead, finally FLP1 is live on Camino after, I think it's like 3 months of work.
Well, I got something for this. Yeah, it was definitely a lot of work to get that done for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cheers.
And with that in mind, we've also added voltage points for people LPing FLP1 on Meteora, so that we can get more liquidity for spot FLP. And as I just want to remind, if there are more viewers watching, see, the TGE of Meteora is coming. We all know how interesting VP is. For every month you get FAP rewards, and we all know how much FLP1 and JLP yield. So the most interesting, like the ask is basically for people to provide liquidity on this asset, and then this would unlock multiply on Camino for us. But even if it does not happen, we are working on another implementation, but it will take some time. So in the meantime, if we get some more liquidity, we are very happy to have that liquidity, so that multiply on FLP1 gets started on.
So I have something for you for Meteora. All right. So obviously the Meteora token is going to be, we all know what's going to happen next. So if you are accumulating those points, if you are participating in that airdrop or TGE, whatever, maybe they have a claim form, I'm not sure, then it's advantageous that you get on the platform. If you are using, obviously already using Flash Trade, then FLP1 will be good for Meteora. And let's just say you don't have any FAF staked. You can still register and still accumulate those points, VP points on our platform, as well as farm the Meteora upcoming TGE. So you do not have to be a FAF staker, keep in mind. And if you are not registered and you are using the Flash Trade platform and you are not staked and you don't have any level, you're level 0, that is fine. You can still participate in the VP program. All of your activity on Flash can still benefit you at the end of the epoch. And it's advantageous that you start that right now. Reason being, we're at the very beginning of the epoch.
Yeah, I just saw Zoheb joined, and I just see that margin engineer tag, and I'm like, oh my god, what happened? Zoheb, can you hear us?
Yeah, for sure. Margin engineer reporting for duty.
Margin engineer.
Yeah, like things have gotten interesting. Like we're testing out stuff in prod with all of the stuff that we have had. So that's a great sign for us to kind of progress towards what's coming up. So interesting patterns for the week. We'll be observing how the margin rates kind of impact traders, and that would translate to the parameters that are going to be set out for the implied funding mechanism to come. So a lot of interesting things for sure this week. We kicked the epoch off as well. Probably the last, or I might just give it a guarantee that this is going to be the last epoch, perhaps, that we have with the existing margin engine. So yeah, this epoch is going to be big. Uh, and yeah, a lot of interesting design decisions that have been executed or implemented and being um, reviewed in code, and yeah, that should just get us like all of the underlying systems ready to roll out V2. And
Nice.
that's a big step, like as Anas just reiterated, it's like swapping out the engine while you're like
In
cruising at
flight.
the highest speed through the lap.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty insane, actually. Congrats to you, sir.
Let's.
Job
Absolutely.
well done.
And yeah, like that goes alongside our efforts to make sure backwards compatibility remains in place. We have those other efforts to have like mint and burn FLP natively integrated across swap routes.
Hmm.
Looking at two major partners right now, and it like also kind of ramping up our efforts towards having this native feature into Kswap, Camino's own swap engine. So we
Yeah.
should be seeing some good stuff over there. But for the meantime, another thing I think that's going to come up real soon is even VP for the Camino multiply market. So it kind of all goes in together. Use your VP approval on Meteora markets. Let's get to a good liquidity point, and then let's have the VP on multiply positions on Camino. So
Yep.
it's all in your hands, guys. Let's
Yeah.
get to the benchmark
Flash users,
and get it rolling.
for sure. Yep, absolutely. This part of the journey is in your hands. It is up to you. And of course, we greatly appreciate all of our LP providers and greatly appreciate everything that you all do for us. We stay working very, very hard for you. We strive to always bring you the best. All right. Now, what is coming up? So, what does 24/5 stocks mean? Major indices and metals? What? We already have some metals. Interesting.
Yep. As a, the problem is the major, like if you check majority of the pubs that are offering on-chain stock trading, they just trade for literally US, opening and closing times, which just lasts for 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
But for us in crypto
CME.
markets, we are degens and we love to trade every time of the day and basically every day. But so basically we are capable of getting prices 24 by 5, which is 5 days a week,
Yeah, straight through.
cutting off the weekends.
Mhm.
Sadly, which I think there is a possibility of getting the prices over the weekend as well. But for now, we are working to get 24 by 5 markets on Flash, and basically you'd be able to trade your favorite stocks, major indices, and metals. And already forex markets are in the format of 24 by 5 markets. So we have just in the funnel to get these things out at the best possible leverage and fees.
Yeah.
And that's what complements, if we see the right side of the tab, which is Pinocchio based improvements. These two things basically complement each other, because once we have very streamlined pricing engine, then you
Yep.
can basically offer a lot of things through that same price update thing. So that is under works, as we said. What's coming, anything yeah, I think I'll just highlight the third point, which is we are working on a very huge facelift for the mobile UI, because there are some issues with the drawer system that we have on mobile, and there are some browsers that are compatible and some browsers are not compatible with it. So we have looked into just basically removing the drawers from the UI, although we have gone through a lot of stretch in trying to solve that issue. But now we're finally taking the decision of revamping the UI and then just getting rid of those drawers, because they are messing up with some of the browsers, and Soulflare is having issues. So when you use the Soulflare mobile app, the drawers don't open very well on Flash's UI, sadly, and it is affecting a lot of users. So
Yeah.
we have prioritized this thing to get it out as soon as possible. So yeah, I think that is that on that front. Zeb, anything to add on the next 2 points, since
Eh,
we have your
What?
tag as margin engineer?
Yeah, for sure, and that's the step one that we have to get across the park. I think we should be putting up Flash Labs post on this and kind of get some reviews, because what we've discussed internally with the team is that not many people care about retaining their collateral, and like right now, it when you have an active trade, it doesn't matter whether you trade on Drift or Flash, because our margining is similar. Your collateral is retained in the same token, right? Which happens when you trade, let's say on Drift, for example, where you are able to deposit collateral and then trade. You don't have to sell your collateral as such. That's
Mhm.
how asset-backed longs operate on Flash. So this feature, USDC-based collateral, would just mean that the moment you take a position, you lose you lose the exposure to your collateral, which is both good and bad. It improves your liquidation prices. It makes them stable, and you have a better price for liquidations on long. And the reason this kind of complements or makes the whole system a lot better is we can go and do cross correlation, and you'll not feel the impact of some random token which you used as collateral affecting how your end PNL settles, or how you kind of end up losing margin because of your
Yep.
collateral moving in price. Now, this is a major shift, which sadly is not backwards compatible. So down the lane, the idea with the release of Margin Engine V2 would be to have a phased release, and we give this indication beforehand when a single execution on chain would transfer, or kind of just translate all of the existing positions and move the collateral amounts to a
Mhm.
nominal collateral value, a USD value. This is a very this is going to improve the reliability on the data that you see on the front, right? Your margin, your idea of when you get liquidated, all of these becomes streamlined, and we move
Yes.
from this split system of coin margining and USD margining on different positions. You move it all together to USD margining. If people are kind of technical, they could just look up this idea of differentiating coin margin systems with USD margin systems. There are benefits and pros and cons across both ends, but
Yep.
the vision with V2 to have more assets listed, and like cross correlating assets, and allowing the same liquidity pools that we have right now to serve a larger and wider variety of assets is going to be based on this big change. So keep an eye out for updates. And this system is designed with so much effort to make sure no active positions get impacted. So like there's nothing for users to be worried about, and we'll keep you all posted on how this whole progress is gonna come out. So that is a big change, which is the most reviewed
Few
and
questions for
the
you on that.
most. Yeah, sure.
So just as a user here, I want to kind of bring it from their perspective. So does that mean that if I come to the platform and use another token, I would have to convert it first into USD, or is our
No,
platform going
no.
to do
So the system is going to be the same at first, where you will be able to use any token belonging to the same pool. So if you're trading on pool one, you can use any token that is listed and then take a trade. The system automatically converts that to a nominal USD value, and
that?
puts an obligation on the pool to do that. And then in the future, we could also have like cross pool swaps being executed, or even this opens up to the opportunity of us integrating external swap routes in the future, and supporting a bigger asset list for people to come in and trade with,
Yeah.
because the collateral is going to be nominal value. You don't have to worry about what token you will be using. So that
Yeah.
is the quickest thing. No external changes required from a user perspective.
Yep.
Everything here is being done implicitly to make things a lot more easier and a lot more scalable together.
Yeah. And then just in simple terms, the USDC, why it's so important and why it's so valuable to you is that when you take a position, if it's in Sol, if the Sol value is dropping at the same time, obviously the chart is dropping, right? So now your collateral is dropping, and it's actually bringing your liquidation up at the same time that the charts are going down. So this can be problematic if you're not watching the charts. And with USDC, you wouldn't have that kind of issue that typically arises with
Yep. And
Quite
trading
much.
and the other advantage of this would be the comprehensive rebate system that we would have, the improved rebate structure, where now you don't have to. Right now, whatever trade happened, they kind of pay you the rebate in the collateral token. So people
Yeah.
trading Sol, you get paid in Jito Sol. People are like trading pump, and then you get some amount of pump in your wallet. You don't even know where that came from. So this
Yeah.
system allows us to kind of have those rebates kind of logged in for you to come and collect at your discretion. So this allows you to kind of better have an understanding of how much you're making from rebates. And
Mm.
this also opens up to the idea of having builder codes and allowing other people to kind of integrate Flash and make money from the referral rebate structure we have.
Yeah, pretty cool, to be honest. All right, and then lastly, we just had that. What was it? What is next for Margin Engine? Margin Engine V2 is here, but what's next for it? What's still left? All those questions.
For sure. Like number one, for us is to kind of have the whole rollout planned and scheduled, and then obviously the first testing validation on DevNet to be complete and to have the values finalized. The bigger question here is funding mechanism, right? Right now, the focus towards having a better balance of OIs versus like having this idea of a carry trade being able to execute on Flash. People kind of coming in and having a way to earn funding. That is a big change. Like that kind of enables us to have the potential design for price discovery in the future, because right now we're extremely or we are subjugated to oracles. Like there's nothing we can do without the oracle infrastructure. So having an incentive payout for people to come in and balance the opposite side of the trade, because right now, even with those insane APYs you see on pool 4 to all of the good performance that you see on pool 1, all of this is skewed. A lot of time there's a skewed OI towards long, and there's hardly people coming up to short, which kind of eats up on the LP's exposure to the underlying assets. So once
Yeah.
we're able to have the funding incentives in place, this would allow a lot of like retained exposure for LPs to the underlying basket, while kind of having those upside returns from serving better volumes. So it's
Hmm.
a huge win-win on both ends. There could be new traders or long-term traders, which we never catered to because of the penalizing margin fee system that we have right now, or
Yeah.
any Oracle-based exchange like Jupiter or any other, like even GMX for that matter.
Yeah,
They've
true enough.
been designing on these incentive system to kind of have the opposite side of the skew to come in and balance things out. So that is going to be enabled by this whole design coming together. So yeah, like that is the final form of how we see
Let's
margin
go.
engine v2 coming into effect. So that's what we're excited for.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything to add, enough?
No, that's it. I think the it basically opens up where people can take opposite side of the trade and earn some yield. Where basically there are delta neutral funds on Flash that are sorry on Solana that are right now are just built on drift, where they try to just farm the funding fees, and a similar thing after the launch of V2 can be done on Flash, where if they
Mhm.
see there is a skew in the market and they are able to create a delta neutral position, they'd be able to open that position and then just farm the funding fees from Flash while having something open as long on Drift. So that basically gives you a higher open interest and more
Mhm.
volume on the platform, and it just translates to more usage, and while making LPs more balanced basically, because if traders start balancing the markets on the both long and short side, that basically gives you the fees as an LP and also protects you from all the price exposure of the market. So it is basically a win-win for all sides.
Yeah, as you'd say, delta neutral, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that about wraps it up for this Flash trade, ending it on a high note. about
think we've
margin
shared
engine.
so much alpha. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think just before we end this thing, I really want to share one more thing. I think we forgot to add on the slides. We will
Sure.
be putting up a proposal of temperature check in Flash Labs
Oh,
channel.
I did forget.
Where,
You're right.
yeah. In Flash Labs channel, where we are looking forward to reduce the fee share on pool 4, pool 5, and pool 7, which are meme coin pools, where we gave 100% fee share back to LPs. So now I think it was all in the direction of attracting more LPs, and now I think there is sentiment in the community where we can basically token holders will be getting more money from the volumes that are being generated. So I think we would be putting up a temperature check proposal, and we would be voting in Discord itself. I don't think a Futaki market is worth it for it. So the polls would be done directly in the Flash Labs channel, where people can vote in favor or opposite side of it in Labs channel. So yeah, let us see.
And the Flash Labs, where we're going to be placing it, just keep in mind that you do have to be, I think, level, was it, what level is it?
I think
to do?
it's just to comment and put up a proposal. You need to be level 3 and higher. But if you want to reply or leave your vote in the proposal, you don't need to be anything. You don't need to have any tag on that sense.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Yeah, and then would that be just for token holders?
No, it's
would that
for
be for everybody?
anyone.
Okay.
Everyone, yeah.
So that is open to everyone to come vote on. And I think one thing that you forgot to add is that 20% is going to be split 10%.
It's the same thing. Basically, any money
50,
that the protocol makes, 50% goes to us, the team members, and 50% goes back to the token holders. So 20%, 10% would go to the team, and 10% would go to the token holders.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense now that we've had so much time with the pools, and clearly the 100% incentive, needs to be pulled back a little, because right now, actually, currently is we only make revenue off of a few pools, and we only make that off of 30% of those pools. So all of that's in our docs, as you can check and see exactly which pools that we do make that off of. But with that should be it for everybody. Anything else to add from Zahib or Anas?
Nope. I think we are very much covered on all the things that we wanted to go. And if anyone has any questions or anything that you want to face off, we are here to basically answer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're always available in our Discord. That is our main hub. If you have any issues with the platform, of course, open up a ticket. We'll be there for you at all times. And if you just want to join the discussion, you can jump into our general chat. If you are a staker or a FAF holder, you can get into our more private chat, where all of our cohort of flashers love to chat it up in there. It's actually quite lively. It's come alive. But that's where we handle most things. Don't forget to follow us on X and hit the notification bell to all notifications to stay up to date with all things Flash Trade. And if you don't mind, on this particular stream, if you can hit a like, drop a comment, and repost for me, that would be amazing to get this information out to more people. Other than that, I'll see you all in the markets.